Good morning.
How's it going?
Good. I woke up way later than I thought. Usually, I wake up 7:30, sometimes 7. This morning, my alarm saying hey, your meeting's in 15 minutes, woke me up. I'm like, whoa, it's 8:45. So I guess I needed to sleep.
Had the opposite. I didn't get much sleep last night, and then I woke up at 4 with Eden and tried to get her to go back to sleep. So I'm feeling pretty tired.
I don't know if that can be funny or not. So you woke up at dawn.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not my best one, but whatever. So why didn't you get a lot of sleep?
I don't know. Had insomnia for some reason. Sarah got home from a friend's house pretty late, and then when she got home, I couldn't sleep. So I got up and I made some coffee, concentrate, listen to some music and stuff, and I just couldn't get back to sleep. So by the time I went to bed around 2 a.m., and then Eden woke up 2 hours later. So I got maybe 3 hours of sleep total, maybe a little more. I don't know, but I feel like I didn't sleep.
It's funny because even when you don't sleep, you still look normal. Even when I get a sleep, I still look exhausted. So why do you think you had trouble sleeping?
I don't know. Not sure. What's that?
You want to try to float it out, see what...
Sure.
All right. Why didn't you sleep? Oh wait, that's not how floating works.
I had a really weird dream that became a porn star. I became this transsexual porn star, and then I was trying really hard to become super famous and one of the only breakout porn stars that go from the porn industry to mainstream. So I was building this giant brand, and I was directing all my own videos to cut out the middleman. It was very weird dream.
it's just funny of like, it's like, okay, all the things are there, like it makes sense, it's like we talked about porn and how it's easier to break out in there, and then like, business and everything. It's like, why the transsexual part? That's the only part that seems out of nowhere.
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I guess just, I mean, I've seen a lot of trans porn when I used to look at porn. So it just may be something that just kind of lingering up there in the subconscious. But I don't know if there's
Or
something about like just the I don't know, the attractiveness of like a more feminine version of me. Like we think of women as having more of a like an allure or like some sort of like magnetic attraction. So maybe it's just that it was like what would be like the girl version of me if they were famous. I don't know.
it's funny.
I thought it was a really funny dream. It was like I mean super bizarre, but it was just cracking me up. I'm like that would be such a weird life. I mean to go from like the life I have now to that life would be
Yeah.
very strange.
It's like, just, leave your wife, abandon your children to go become a trans porn star. Like
Right.
that is a radical transformation.
Like that would be that. I mean, that is for sure like the epitome of like um, dying for the world that you're creating, so to speak. It's like
Yeah.
you leave literally every version of you behind, completely close that door, and just start a whole new reality.
Yeah, because you're literally abandoning everything, like, wife, family,
Uh-huh.
religion, like everything is gone. uh,
That would make a
but
really interesting story.
uh,
Maybe
it's
it's a
funny.
movie.
Hmm?
Maybe it's a movie. Maybe it's like a screenplay I should write.
Hold on, before I make a joke, if you were to go down that route, hypothetically, of course, and you be like a trans woman, would you be gay or would you be straight?
I, I have no idea. I mean, I know what I think now as me, but I don't know how much. I mean, I've heard a few like anecdotal things of people like in non-porn contexts say like the what do you call it? Like the hormone therapy changes the way that they think a lot more than they expected, and so like I have no idea like what I can't really predict what that kind of version of me would be. And I mean, in all honesty, it's like if you're at the point where you're like literally starting from scratch, throwing away every past version of you, it's like at some point, it's like you, you're choosing to become a blank slate. So it's like, why wouldn't that become a possibility where it's like you just write whatever version of you makes the most sense? I don't know. That I mean, what I know about consciousness, what I've learned about myself in terms of things that I didn't think were able to change, it seems very theoretically plausible to me that there's a lot more malleability in and plasticity in what people are able to do than they really than most people really are able to believe.
Well, in that case, something that I realized recently, like yesterday, the day before, I forget exactly when, but I was just thinking, I'm like, wow, if I was a girl, I would totally be a slut. Not like on purpose, just because like, it's who I am. And as the guy, like it's okay. It's kind of expected to some degree, but it's just like I've become very good at it with the skills that I've developed over the years. And it's like, yeah, if I was in a girl's body, people would totally see me as a slut.
It's so weird how that's like a like a double standard, just
Yeah.
literally because of gender. It's so funny because it's the same behavior. You just, I don't know, one version is just sort of normalized, the others like, oh, that's not good.
But I
Just
also, it's kind of part of how society works. Because like it's okay for a guy to do that and to make the first move and to like, do everything. And the girl, if she goes along, it's okay because you're the one who made the first move. But
mm-hmm,
if the girl makes the first move, automatically like flips and it's like, oh, okay, she's just easy. And it's
mm-hmm,
like it's very strange that it's like you can do the exact same thing. Let's say like take an evening, the exact progression of the evening. If it's initiated every step by the guy, fine. No one has an issue with that.
mm-hmm,
If you flip that around and every step is initiated by girl, most people are going to be like, oh, wow, she's a slut. And it's so weird. It's like the exact same process. Both parties are involved, both parties are having a good time. But for that one slight
mm-hmm.
shift, it's like everything changes. I guess it's good I'm a guy because I don't want to be a slut. uh,
I feel like we have all kinds of like contextual standards that are just like that. I mean, it's like, why do we see soldiers who are fighting and killing people on behalf of someone else, like for something bigger than them? It's like, wow, you're really like making a big sacrifice and like what a hero versus somebody who's, you
a
know,
serial.
yeah, a serial killer, or even like somebody breaks into your home and you shoot them, and still people like, oh, you killed somebody. It's like, there's still people who would think that was just totally terrible. It's just very interesting the amount of flexibility in people's morality dependent on context.
One that always shocked me the most is it's usually in American movies because those are most of the movies I watch. It's like, one American soldier gets like kidnapped and they send like hundreds of people, kill thousands of someone from a different country to save that one person. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like, yay, he's a big hero. Like we're making a movie about his life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, but change the perspective. It's like, all right, they killed like thousands of you to get one guy back. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
like horrible people. And it's just like, it always hit me so much of like, it does not make sense to like risk hundreds of lives, kill hundreds of people to save one person.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at the same time, if I was that person, I'd be like, yes, it's totally worth it.
Yeah. I wonder what people who are on the receiving end of like these epic rescues, like what kind of lives do they lead afterwards?
I mean, I feel like in most cases, there's going to be like PTSD of some sort because of the situation they were in. But I guess, yeah, maybe some of them do have like survivor's guilt.
I don't know.
I never really thought of that. I guess that puts you in such an awkward situation because you feel super guilty for all the people who
Mm-hmm.
died because they were trying to
Mm-hmm.
save you. You're like, I can't kill myself now because if I kill myself, I just make it even worse. So it's like
Yeah.
you're stuck feeling guilty and not being able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Reminds me of the Lieutenant Dan character in Forrest Gump. Who,
Yeah.
his whole like worldview was like, I'm probably gonna die fighting in the army. Like a bunch of my family line has done that. And then Forrest Gump rescues him, and he's like, feels super shitty that he didn't die, and then he feels emasculated because the slow guy rescued the professional military man, and then he just like punishes himself like the vast majority of the movie, just tries to everything but kill himself, basically, just to make himself feel miserable.
The funniest thing is like the entire time Forrest just like, hey, let me help you.
Yeah, exactly.
uh, you know what's the funny thing? I feel like in this example, I would be Forrest Gump. Just because like I'm so positive that it annoys certain people. It's like, no, it's gonna be great. They're like, shut up, life sucks. I'm like, no, it's awesome. Look at all these ways it's awesome. It's like, I just want to be miserable. Let me be miserable.
Yeah. I think being miserable is underrated.
Okay, I was not expecting that.
Like where I've gotten to the point in my life where I've had a lot of stuff that is like emotionally um, what what's the right word, turbulent, I guess. Um, Sometimes just like feeling crappy and letting yourself be miserable, not wallowing in it, but like just letting it happen instead of trying to fight it and pretend like it isn't there. It's, I don't know. I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable with just letting myself have a crappy day instead of trying to force myself to feel better. And I'm like, you know what I need right now is to just like let myself feel shitty. Like I don't have to treat other people shitty or like make myself feel worse by like investing energy in like negative emotions that come up. But like I feel like I spent a lot of my early years thinking that feeling bad was a bad thing. So I would try to not feel bad instead of like, no, this thing happened and this is literally how I'm reacting to it, and it's okay that that's what my reaction is, and I'm not going to accelerate the process of trying to get over it. I don't know. It's like I wouldn't say I enjoy feeling miserable, but it's like I've come to appreciate the function of feeling miserable to like move you past certain experiences, I guess.
And it's funny too, because when you try to fight it, it just seems to last forever. And then you're like,
Oh my
okay, I'll
god,
just
yeah.
feel crappy. And then 2 hours later, you're like, oh, I feel better. That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The more that you try to avoid it, the worse it is. But sometimes if you just let it go, like you go on the ride, it's a lot less suffering than it seems like it would be. Man, I have
There's something.
mosquitoes are really bad right now. Got a whole new crop of mosquitoes, and I've got some mean mosquito bites.
No, we're just talking about the like the more you try to fight it, the more difficult and the longer it gets. I think there's
Mm-hmm.
something, right? There's a reason why
You're
that.
cutting out a little bit. I'm gonna go open the door and see if that helps with the Wi-Fi. But what were you were saying something that I didn't quite hear about trying to avoid not fighting what you're feeling. You said there was something here.
Does this sound better or is it still a crap?
That does sound better. It was cutting out. It wasn't like the quality wasn't too bad. It was just like the audio is dropping for some
Well, maybe because I turned on the AC in the background, so maybe the phone is kind of like block at that sound. It's causing issues. If it's still doing it, let me know and I'll go turn it off. So what I was saying is, yeah, that whole principle of the more you fight it, the harder it is to overcome, and the longer it stays. So I feel like there's to that, like something to do with business. Is there something we've been kind of fighting, or because it feels like there's a few points in the process over the last 2 months where we kind of hit a point where we're like, you know what we need to do? Like there's not really anything else we can do. And we're just kind of like stuck there for a couple of days. It's like
Yeah.
it's a pattern I notice. I'm just wondering like what would be the easy way of like, okay, let's just address it and then process and move on.
I
The
think
thing is, I don't know specifically what it is. It's just like an impression that I'm getting.
I kind of feel like floaching, like going somewhere completely different and be like, all right, feels like we need to just do something else, something new, and then circle back to this when it's like, oh, this is what we need to do. This is what we should be focusing on. Because it feels a little bit like we have like 99% of what we need for the funnel and the webinar done, but it's like we don't really have a clear like a system or like like an outreach way to fill the webinar consistently that's like, oh yeah, like I know what the steps are and I feel good about doing that. It's sort of like we have to figure it out, and it just feels like, okay, we just got done through this whole big process of figuring something out, and now it feels like we got to go do a whole new brand new thing. And it's like, I don't know if it's just a psychological like needing a break, or if it's like trying to look at a blank page too closely as opposed to like just get out, go for a walk, go out in nature, like build some other connections, like create some raw data to let to let it kind of organically coalesce. I don't know.
Or maybe the thing is just on my end, because on my end, there's nothing I can do anymore. And I'm just feeling kind of restless, maybe. I'm like, what can I do to help? What can I do to move things forward? But for the moment, there really isn't anything I can do. So maybe it's just on my end. Maybe it's not on your end. And maybe I'm just like projecting on the whole situation, or it's just from my perspective.
That's possible. You know,
Maybe the solution is I need to do like I do in dating and become a business slut. I'm kidding, but the thing is, it's true. Like what I need to find is the business equivalent of Tinder. So a system that matches me up with people, because I know that once I'm connected with someone, I'm very good at that process of seduction and sales and marketing and all that. But I just hate that process of going out and looking and trying to find someone.
Yeah.
But the second someone's like, yes, I'm interested, or the equivalent of like we match, which proves that we're interested, from that moment, I'm very good at the rest of the process. Yeah.
So essentially, it's like what you figured out how to do for dating, which is essentially like cold DMs and having to build a relationship from scratch. You've become fairly proficient at that when it comes to like the dating world. So it's like if you figured out a process of genuine connection that's like goes from cold, like I don't know this person, I have to be the one to reach out, but I'm doing it in a way that isn't a script. It isn't I'm having to be 100% on and like expending mental energy every time, but it's like what is the personalized, or what is the process that allows you to be yourself, be natural, and warm that person naturally like you would. if it was like a dating relationship.
It's really good that we went in this analogy because I'm realizing it would be the same thing for dating. So I'm thinking the business like aspect of, go out and prospecting and talk to people. We always have that intention of I'm trying to get them as a client.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. But the second it's like I'm interested,
Mm-hmm.
then I have no problem. And it's the same for dating. It's like, I've done it the old fashioned way of going out and trying to meet people. It's like I don't enjoy that process. But the second we
Mm-hmm.
match and raise their hand saying I'm interested, I'm really good at that and I enjoy it. So it's the
Yeah.
process of finding a person and getting them to raise their hand. That is the part of the process that I don't like. The rest I enjoy and I'm so what's the equal like business equivalent of getting people to raise their hand like on a dating site?
I gotcha. Cause so the difference is like on a dating site, people are there consciously saying, "I'm here to be reached out to. I'm here for other people to connect to me." When it comes to business, it's like the the hand raise and like the agreed upon. I've said I'm interested in this versus I'm taking your engagement as a hand raise is a lot murkier, and the people that we don't like are the ones who are kind of like more aggressive about any possible opening. Is like, I mean, it's sort of like in dating, it's like anybody who wears like a skirt above their knee, you just take as an invitation to like put your hand up their skirt. It's like that's how we experience.
Well, that is the Donald Trump approach, sure.
That's kind of how people who are like a little off put or are they experience people reaching out in business as too aggressive. That's sort of what it feels like for them. It's like, well, I didn't say I really wanted this thing. I just like I liked this post that was about. It's like I didn't realize that I was opting into somebody's aggressive marketing campaign. It's different than if you like click on an ad or join somebody's community and then when it's like, hey, we help you with this thing. Do you want information on that thing? It's like that's more clear. But a lot of like bait posts and like two-step type um, attraction things on social media are a lot of people have gotten burned by um, just engaging on stuff that they didn't really have that much of an interest for somebody to chase them down on.
Yeah, and I think that's why I've always been attracted to automated forms of marketing because by the time they get to the point where you actually try to sell them or speak to them or whatever, it's like it's clear they're only there because they're interested.
Right. You've already filtered out all the people who are butthurt about getting connected with, or people who are like, they've looked at it and then they've decided, oh, it's not for me. You don't have to worry about making them feel uncomfortable with you constantly checking back in with them. It's like if they're ready, they know. Like you've said enough things that they can make that decision for themselves.
As I, what I would need is, so I guess that means I'm a very good closer,
Mm-hmm.
even though I've never actually done it. Come very close a couple of times, but never actually done it. It's like I'm good at that.
You have a program that you can actually close people in.
And that's the thing. I feel like I would enjoy that process. And I think maybe that is what we need to do. Like we just need an appointment setter to go out and do the prospecting for us. I can be the closer and you're the expert. And I
Yeah.
mean, maybe you can also be the front end of like, you're the one who's networking, you're the one who's prospecting, and it's
Yeah,
like,
maybe
Preston,
that's
hop
what
on.
it should be. Instead of like yeah, if we figure out the appointment setting process, which is like when somebody becomes a prospect with a hand raise, like we have a way to confirm, would you like us to send you some information, or would you like to talk to us specifically about this thing? And if they say yes, then they go on a calendar where you say, well, here's what Aaron's program is. Here's our little resource. This is exactly what you get when you buy. If you want it, great. If you don't want it, I'm not here to force you to do it. And it's like, if you just want to have a conversation and that's all we do, we shake hands and part ways, great.
I think
So if
I
we
think
just,
it's the same in closing, like it would be in dating. I don't know why. For me, it just seems like either it works out or it doesn't. But nearly every single time it worked out on the first date. Unless there's like a legit reason that's just like stopping it from happening. I'm very good at progressing the situation until it gets to the point where it's like, okay, we both want to end up in bed. It's just sometimes, every once in a while, it happens like, oh, she can't because it's Monday and she's gonna go work tomorrow, as an example. Yesterday. So it's like, it's not me. My process is within one date or within one meeting or business perspective. It's like I get them from the point of I'm interested to I want this. And it's like I think that's good because I've seen some closers who's like take 2, 3, 4, 5 meetings to close someone. And it's like maybe you can eventually close someone, but I feel like they're going to be the kind of people who are going to create more trouble than they're worth, would eventually ask refunds and everything. So it's like, okay, let's have a conversation. If you want to buy by the end of the call, you'll be ready. If not, like, unless there's a legit reason where it's like, I can't right now, but I'll let you know as soon as I can. Aside from that, it's like, all right, let's just part ways and have a nice life.
Yeah, and I feel like this makes a lot of sense because it's like the out, which is like, okay, maybe your program isn't right for us or for you, but the people we actually want to hang on to and like keep following up to some extent. It's like people who know that they want community to be a strategy in their business. So if you have some idea that a community is important, maybe not this moment, but like at some point in your business, you're gonna want a community. Then you can be in our free community, which shows you how to launch a group really easy. And it's a group of people specifically who are those people. It's like we want to be community builders. We want to connect with our people more than just like, in addition to selling a lot of stuff, we actually want to get to know some of the people in our business and in our ecosystem and create a good group experience for people. So it's like the three options are, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. I'm not interested and I'm not your target prospect. And then the other one is like, oh, I'm not ready for this, but I want to keep watching what's happening. And I do need community at some point. It's just not right now. And then the third option is like, oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. How do I sign up?
All right. I guess the analogy is like we're fishing, and sometimes the fish comes up and it's a big fish and exactly what you wanted. It's like, cool, you got the fish.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, oh, the fish is too small. It's the kind that we want, but it's just too small. So we just take it off and throw it back in. And sometimes it's a shoe, and we're like, okay, well, that was a waste of time. Let's throw it away.
Oh, and you know what? Foo Fun Fund works for qualifying people as well. It's like,
you don't like this? Well, fuck you.
we only want to get on the phone with people who know that they need community. It may not be today, but at some point. And if you want to take a closer look at our program, this might be something that you want to know about. And if you're not ready to buy, that's fine. Like, we have other ways we can help you without you joining our high ticket program. But like, filter those people out. So it's like, what are the things that you need to fire, the unnecessary time and energy on those calls. And then the other, so then of what's left, the people is like, I think I'm sort of interested. It's like I might be having too much fun with what I'm doing right now to commit to this, but this looks like something I want to keep in mind. And I want to be around other people who are learning some of the things you're doing, and I'll just kind of, you know, sort of keep tabs on it. And then we do the work for them of reminding them at different points, like, oh, just want to check in, see how you're doing in your business. How have you started building a community? Is there any way we can support you in growing your group? That's a person who's already kind of said, I am interested in support at some point, but just not right now. And if they have any integrity, or if they have some awareness of themselves, like at some point that would be a favor, like that we're doing for them by reaching out continuously until they're ready. It's like, yeah, I'm so glad, thanks for reaching out. I'm in the middle of a thing, but like, I can see myself down the road 6 months from now. It's like, can we connect then? And then the people who are ready, it's like, um, that would be the fund. It's like, I need this. I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? Because it's overwhelming. Let me pay you.
I see what you're saying, but I disagree in a way. And what I mean by that is just if we continue with the dating analogy, it's like in the past, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to give them a chance. Maybe it would lead to something. And usually it doesn't. And then 2 days ago with that girl who I just show up and her friend is there and she's like on her phone half the time. And I'm just like, this is a complete waste of time. What am I doing here? I was just like, nope, I'm out. So just got up, went to pay and left. And it's like, I think that's the approach that I need to take in business. Not to mean that, people like that can't eventually become clients, but I know that I don't want to be the one to like try to nurture them to get them to the point where they're ready. So it's like, I want to run business like I run my dating life, which is, having enough respect for myself that if you're not ready, you're not ready. So just like, bye. And not like in a mean way of just like, hey, it's obvious we want different things, so let's just go our separate ways. And it's like, it removes the pressure because in the past, when it comes to dating, it's like, I'm always like, well, there's always a chance. You never know. And you keep trying and trying and trying and trying until it gets to the point where it's like, okay, it's obvious that it's never going to happen and I'm wasting my time. It's like, I should have stopped like 2 weeks ago, And that is an exhausting process that I'm like, I don't want to go through that in business. So maybe there is a way to do that. So it's like, if it's not a right fit, instead of just being like, peace, I'm out, it can be like, okay, well, it's obvious you're not ready, but you can sign up to our newsletter and, get more training and information if you want to. And then if ever you're ready at some point in the future, let us know. Or in a group, or if you want, you can be the one kind of touching base with them. It's just, I know myself and I know it's going to become exhausting and I'm going to hate the process if I try to hold on to people who aren't quite right on the off chance that they'll be right. Yeah, just wanted to put that out there because there's many things that happened recently when it comes to dating, aside from that one story. And it's just like small stuff of like, I'm talking to someone, it's like, oh, it takes me more time to get to know someone and see if there could be something there. And it's like, well, I'm traveling, so the odds of it working out are very, very, very slim. In the past, I would have been like, well, we can go on a date and see what happens. And now I'm just like, nope, it's obviously not going to work out. We want different things. So let's just go our separate ways and find someone that's a better fit. And it's like things like that. It just makes the process so much easier and you feel so much more in integrity with yourself. And I want to make sure that I keep that integrity when it comes to business. And maybe like in the beginning, maybe that's going to maybe that's not a good thing in the beginning. Because in the beginning, you don't have like a ton of prospects. So if you're that like, yes or no, you might like push away a lot of people. But I feel like in the long run, that's going to be more productive. Anyway, that's my perception. Let me know what you think.
I'll tell you what I think. I
But I'm
think
an idiot
you're,
and ask. Got
I think
it.
you're right, and you have zeroed in on a pain point that is a big problem in the industry. It's a lot of work to continue to follow up after people and nurture them. But the thing is that businesses that do that, like 80% of their sales come from the repeated follow-ups. So it sounds to me like what you need is a 5-minute Facebook group, which allows you to let your community follow up and nurture people and let them tell you when, okay, I'm ready to buy. I mean, to me, you're voicing the exact problem that so many other entrepreneurs have that make them not want to run a community and not want to. I mean, they are overwhelmed in their business because of the amount of energy it takes to follow up. And like my belief is that if you set the community up right, the way that we're going to do it, those objections are gone because the community is built as a nurturing machine. And so you're constantly stoking everybody on your list that's in your group and letting them have their own discussions and like throwing out objections, and then people can answer like, oh, but what about this and that, and I disagree, and that's sort of, it's like all of that can happen without you being involved until somebody's like, oh, yeah, I know, I just realized that this is what I, hey, okay, send me the link, I'm ready. It's like you do
And
zero.
maybe that's exactly why we're business partners. It's like we can kind of like jump back and forth of like once we get to the point where we do automated marketing, I'm pretty sure that's more going to be my thing because I've done it in the past. And like given the way the business is kind of divided, that makes more sense. It's like we could get to that point. So it's like I generate the traffic, you warm the traffic, build the audience, the connection, everything. The second they raise their hand, I come in. It's like, all right, let's get you in bed. I mean, let's get you into this course. And then you come back in on the back end. It's like you provide the training. It's like we just kind of like jump back and forth.
Back end. Of course.
So I guess that would make me a pimp. It's like I bring you all the prospects. You convince them, oh yeah, okay, I want to pay for sex. I sell them the service. You deliver the service.
Mm.
So it's like, I'm the pimp, you're the hoe. Ooh, you're a transsexual prostitute.
So maybe that's what that dream is just like. It's kind of like another way of slicing the reality. It's like this is kind of what we're building. It essentially is something that is because we're selling information. We're not selling a lot of. I mean, I am working with clients, but I think as I get people results, like that price of working with me directly needs to go way up. But what we're selling is information. It's a way for you to have an experience without us being involved, which is literally what porn is. It's
I'm just wondering, have we been doing this wrong? And I don't mean like, should we be in the porn industry? Like, I'm serious. Because the whole, selling process or, dating and flirting and getting to the point where they're like, yes, I want to sleep with you. Yes, I want to buy. Yes, whatever that thing is that you're selling. Like, it's kind of like if I brought you on a date and it's like, we're kind of like, trying to sell me, but it's like, it seems weird because there's two people there. And it's like, am I the one who's supposed to be giving the webinar? Like, I don't know, in the beginning, it probably makes more sense for the both of us, but I'm just thinking like, once we kind of perfect this process and automate it, what if we literally like split up every single portion? So it's like marketing, that's me. Like I do the ads, I run everything, and then they get in the group. It's like they get to know you and they build a relationship. And the second they're like, raise your hand, it's like, all right, go watch the webinar. And I take them through the entire like process of the training.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm wrong. It just seems like, or maybe I'm just like going too far with the analogy of comparing dating to business.
Okay. If we, I think this is a useful exercise, especially for floating. It's like, if you think about porn as an industry, like it is so massive. Like I think maybe
That
something like a
is that.
quarter of the traffic on the internet is porn, and the amount, I could be wrong on that, but I think it's something like obnoxious like that. It's huge. But if you think about it that way, it's like,
35% of all internet downloads are related to pornography.
holy crap, that is a massive. That's
One
one
third of downloads.
third.
Wow.
Okay. So
Dude, we're in the wrong fucking industry.
no, everything is everything. So if business is just porn when it comes to how to get money, like what is the model of, you're in this massive red ocean, how do you turn it into, I mean, because in porn
White Ocean.
it's sort of like people latch onto individual people. Like it's I mean, there are sub niches and preferences that people have, but it's sort of like really the people who make it are the people who have fans that are fans of them.
Yeah.
And so if you think about it from that standpoint, it's like, then what we need is to just like have some anchor communities that we just do this, what we're doing right now, which is just create a ton of volume of getting to know and see us. It doesn't even matter if we're doing uh, business stuff. It doesn't matter if we're like seen as experts in every context. It's just, do you know us enough? Do you see us and are familiar with us enough? And I think it's like the amount of volume that you see with people. It's just familiarity. It's the same as the pop industry. You play the same song over and over again, even if you hate it. You hear it enough times, it's just like, oh yeah, like I can kind of like, it's catchy. It's like wasn't one of my favorite, and it's like at some point it just becomes, oh, let me put that song on. You know, you just we automatically warm up to things that we just see a ton and a ton and a ton. So yeah. So what we need to do is I need to go download all of our episodes that have I mean, I literally could just pre-schedule like 100 or so of our floating sessions where it's just us getting like amped up. It's like, oh, this is amazing, like blah blah blah, and it doesn't have to do anything about business. I mean, it could, but if it's not us like building and crafting the um, the thing, I mean, maybe that's a series that people would want to see. Who knows? But if we just stream us talking and have that automated, like I could set up a system where we have 100 or so episodes of us just floating, and just pre-schedule those to stream. So we just always have something going of us. And it could be on our profile, it could be in a group we own, it could be in other people's groups. and you
Okay.
can actually set it up to go to different places. But if you just always have something going of us, it's like the very outermost part of the funnel. It's like just values. It's like what are the things that we like? What are the things that we enjoy? Because when people lead with, if you're familiar with the marketing industry, um, which is where most of my contacts are. It's like people who are in the marketing industry. It's like everybody else is talking about business and nobody else is talking about values, or very few people are. And so, I don't know.
Something's coming up. I'm going to use an example that may not be accurate because I don't know it that well, but Key and Peele.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're everywhere. Everybody knows them. I've never really seen them. They just seem very annoying to me. And I feel like the only reason why people like them so much is because they're just there so much that people are like, fine, I accept that they're part of life now. And I feel like that's what we need to do. Not necessarily be annoying, but
Yeah,
just
but
be there
just
so much that people are like, yeah, okay, these are people that are part of this industry.
it's that omnipresence that people are doing. Yeah, I think we've been doing this wrong. It's like, people are saying,
We've been doing it wrong. We've been trying to help people and provide value. We just need to annoy the crap out of them.
yeah, I agree. But
Oh, dude. Sorry, something else just came up because as you were talking before, we were talking about, videos, and I was like, I don't know, I got to the point where most watch videos on YouTube. And I went and I'm like, all right, most of them are, well, a lot of them are songs, but there's also a lot of them that are like baby songs. So it's like, Baby Shark Dance and like other ones. So I don't know, Johnny, Johnny, yes, Papa. But and I mean, like in the top 30 videos, there's maybe half a dozen of those. And it's like, because kids can sit there for hours watching the same video over and over again. So, what is the equivalent of that for the business industry?
ooh, yeah, so, and I think this is why,
That then the videos are going to get so much views that even people who don't sit down and watch for hours on end are going to see it because the algorithm is pumping it.
okay, I think this is why, hmm, so I've had this idea in my head for a little while of like church
Uh,
being essentially like a crib or a jail for people who like haven't quite grasped the basics of life. So it's like we we use this language to paint most of life's experience as, oh, that's bad, that's dangerous, don't go there. Just to kind of like keep people in one spot so that they can learn something. And then if you actually learn what you're supposed to learn, you start realizing like, like the things that I was told not to do, actually there's context where it's like it's not always never do them. It's like in principle, probably you don't want to do this or that, but once you become aware, it's like, oh, like everything has this sort of like nuance to it. So if you think about like porn or YouTube kids shows or like business stuff as the vast majority of people that you're going to catch and that are going to like play your content over and over, the people that are going to be like attracted right away are all going to be new people. They're going to be people who are kind of babies. And so, like, what are the things that you need to set in place in terms of boundaries for people? It's like, okay, don't listen to anybody else doing this. It's just let me give you one or two ideas that you just kind of hear on repeat all the time. So you're just saying a variation of the same thing over and over and over, which for us, I think would be like, business can be fun, business can be easy, it doesn't have to be overwhelming, and like you can do it with other people, um, instead of having it all be on you. And if we just keep harping on that, it's like the people who that is the solution that they're looking for. It's like those people are going to kind of become attracted to that, and then we just paint everything else as, don't go there. It's like, if you step outside of these bounds, you're going to be overwhelmed. If you step outside of our system, good luck. You're going to have to figure it out on your own. You can do it the hard way, like we did it, or you can benefit from like our particular version and twist on what we've learned in business. Just do it that way and save yourself the energy of having to figure it out.
As you're talking, I'm listening, but I was doing research of like, well, I went on that channel, the one that had like, nursery rhymes and stuff, and it's like 137 billion views in total for the channel. So it's number one. And then I was looking like, okay, the number one is like Indian music record label. The third one is Sony Entertainment Television, which is like Indian Hindi language.
Mm-hmm.
And then
these are the biggest
Sony SAP, Indian also. So it's like, should we just be targeting India?
I mean, yeah, that's one thing that I mean, what if we made our program like $7, but we got like millions of people in it? It's like everybody else is trying to sell you these like high ticket programs. Actually, you should just do our thing, which is like $7 for lifetime access and join our paid community, and it's like, if you're just targeting people who are like, please just help me, I'm so desperate, and like, everybody's got these high ticket expensive programs that other people in the world can't afford. I have no idea. I don't know whether or not that's a good idea or not.
I mean, maybe not $7, because I feel like getting enough traffic to sell enough of the $7 thing is not necessarily profitable. Because like it costs a lot nowadays to get a lot of traffic. Mm-hmm. Unless you do it in a free way, like through YouTube or something like that. But it's like, if we're talking about paid traffic, like you can sell a $7 thing and have a couple upsells to kind of break even. But the goal is like, let's sell you your $1,000 thing on the back end.
Unless the whole thing is organic and you teach the community how to promote it. So it's like, if you help, okay, this idea of like the people who become rich help other people become rich. It's like the billionaires are the people who help make other people millionaires. So what if the goal was, we're offering this so cheap so that you actually might have a shot at, like, just actually do it, do the work, and if you actually build it, then like we'll show you how to sell it. We'll show you how to use your community to make money off of our thing. You don't have to build anything. All you have to do is just follow these steps and just do exactly what we tell you to do. And essentially, like, people pay us to become like these sort of like ant worker VAs. So it's like they're all creating their own little tiny communities that might have, a dozen people. Some might have a few hundred people. Maybe one or two students out of a few hundred might actually grow a 1,000-member community or something. But it's like, if you built something that was just so easy and repeatable that like they just do it and follow the exact steps, and then you just make it so ubiquitous, and then the fastest way for them to monetize it is like you don't have to have any skill whatsoever. It's, you want to see how I built my community? Take this course. It's $7, and it's like you get 6 of the $7. It's like we have 700 or 800 like amazing affiliates out of like a 20,000 member list. The rest of them don't ever do anything, but it's like you get people selling over and over and over for you.
Dude, it's we need to present it as it's as easy as we're gonna light your business on fire. All you need to do is stop, drop, and roll around in the money. That's that's what we're pitching.
Yeah. And honestly, like we don't have to call it the same thing. Like it could be essentially the same product, but we can create a rebrand over the material, target it to like find out a little bit about that market. Like how does the international market function versus like the people that we know? Um, like we might actually have to package it and teach it and sell it a little bit differently in order to, but I mean, if you go, like, if we interviewed 30 VAs, it's like, hey, what's the worst part about your job? Like, what is the hardest part about your, and just like sell to that crowd, be like, what if I could help you grow a business? What if I could help you have a legit, actual business that only takes you a few minutes a day? You can still, work your job in your local community until you get your thing going, but it's like, this is doable, and there are people in other countries who have nothing but time, and if you make it affordable for that crowd, and you actually have some success, some case studies of people who like work their way out of their situation and their amount of poverty. Like maybe they're not making thousands of dollars, but they could be making hundreds of dollars consistently. Like that's a big deal to other places, and they're gonna just talk about that all the time. Would you like to see how I did it? It's like, here's how. I think there's a lot of potential places we could take the same principles, the same information, and maybe that's it. Maybe we just get really good at how many different ways can we sell the same thing. And sometimes it's like 70% of the course. Sometimes it's like just the story portion, or just the Facebook building portion, or just like here's how to craft a VSL. It's like just break off little pieces of it. Like once the thing is built, and just create resources around it, create different funnels, different pieces, and you're just selling the same asset over and over and over and over again in different bundles, different different target markets, different pain points, different needs, but it's the same stuff. I don't know. Good thought
I think
experiment.
like what you were saying makes sense. I just kind of got stuck on that step of like billionaires become billionaires by helping people become millionaires. So what if that's our goal? Like maybe it's not the step right now. Maybe need to get to the point where it's like we're millionaires, we can show you how to do it. But it's like that's how we like crank it up. And then it's less about like, hey, 5 minutes Facebook group. It's like 5 minutes to millions or whatever. It's like our goal is to make you a millionaire by building your business. All it takes is 5 minutes of work per day.
I have an amazing idea. What if every person that you and I have ever helped gave us $1? Like, what if that was all we ever charged people? It's like, if we help you, you give us $1. So if you help enough people, which we've both, like, I mean, it's kind of a funny thing, like how you can say like I've helped such and such amount of people, but it's like it is really true. If you get good at, if you own the traffic, or if you own the way in which people interact with you. And you get known for helping people really well. It's like if you said, I mean, if it was a dumb enough amount, maybe that's even a way that if we just get good at being known for helping people, whether you work for us or not, and then set up a way that people can, like, hey, I want to send you $5 just because you've helped me so much. I don't know. Or maybe the reverse.
It feels dumb. Like if we go back to the dating example, it's like, you're on a dating site, you swipe, you match with someone, you have a conversation, agree to go on a date, go on the date, build up the tension and everything. It gets to the point where it's like, all right, good night. All you had to do was ask, hey, you want to go back to my place? And you don't do it. It's like, it seems like what you're suggesting to do all that work and just not ask, like, hey, you want to buy our product?
What if you did the reverse? What if in the initial conversation, it's like, I don't go on dates with people who aren't interested in having sex. So it's like, if you want to go out with me, it's like, that's what I'm planning, is unless there's something like, I don't know, turns out like I punch you the first time we meet or something. It's like, I don't know. So, but if you just telegraph from the beginning, it's like, in order to get any help from me, it's like everybody offers free stuff. It's like, I don't. If you want like a free consultation, it actually is, it's like $20. It's like, I only get on the phone with people who pay me. Or it's like, this lead magnet is not free, it is $3. It's like, just charge for everything that you do. So you're filtering out tire kickers. I don't know.
I'm really glad you stopped talking because I'm running out of air. What if you're like, we split the business of like, I will never charge you for anything more than this dollar. You pay $1, that's it. You have access to me. I'm never going to charge you more. However, if you want something more specialized, talk to my business partner. He's going to figure out whatever program is best for you, and you can decide if you want to buy it, and I'm going to deliver on it. But I will personally never charge you. You can pay me $1 and I'll help you for years, and you never have to pay any more. So it's like, you help people, I charge people. And it's a different way of doing things. Because it's like, one's not better than the other, because a lot of people, it's like, if they don't pay for it, they don't value it, they won't do the work, and they won't get the results.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, it's like, they just need the information, they're going to do the work, they're not willing to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
If we split it up, we could maximize the results and get everything. So it's like, you don't need to worry about charging people and wondering like, am I like delivering on what I promised? It's more like, you provide value, and whenever they're like, hey, I need more help, you just direct them to me, and I'm like, all right, what kind of help do you need? What's your budget? And I just kind of like figure out, all right, this is the best program for you. It's this much for this amount of time. And, are you in or out?
Mm.
So then it's like, they really see you as like the, benevolent helping guy who's like, doesn't care about money, which is true. And it's like, it's funny because I'm not really that obsessed with money, but I'm super comfortable doing that if I'm not the one delivering on it. So I'm super comfortable selling the crap out of you and charging people tens of thousands of dollars to work with you, because I'm not the one delivering. So I don't feel bad, because I know how good you are. I know you can deliver. I know it's going to be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I'm super comfortable selling the crap out of them. like not in a sleazy or bad way. I just mean like I know it's gonna help them. I know we deserve to get paid. I'm comfortable doing what I need to do to make it happen so that everybody wins.
I like that. Yeah, because it actually gives like one layer of insulation that you can't, it's hard to do that really effortlessly as a solopreneur. It's like you can try to communicate, well, I'm worth this. It just makes it so much easier when somebody else is like, I've seen this program, like I know what Aaron does. It's like it's totally worth it. It just sounds different coming from somebody else, even when it's 100% true. And yeah, I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
So like we could even do like, you build a group in the audience and every once in a while it's like I've come into the group, it's like, hey, we're about to launch like this new event, like you get everything, you get access to Aaron for this amount of time, you get all these bonuses, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm selling everything. And it's like, I'm selling you, but it's like, you're not even there. You don't even need to do it. It's just like, you do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would make me kind of like your agent or your publicist or marketer or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would enjoy that so much more than trying to sell myself.
You just said something interesting. I'm just trying to think. Instead of like instead of a high ticket closer, is there something like an agent or like a manager that you're able to say it in a slightly different way so people don't come in with their guard up? It's like this is just like an honest conversation about here's what Aaron could do for you. And it's like you're the rep that is there to help them make the decision. So it's like, yeah, there's something here.
And the thing is, like, I think I would be very good at the selling process, but I feel like once it gets to a certain point, it's like we could hire that or automate it with the funnel. And I wouldn't need to do it, and that would be fine. Because like, even though I enjoy that process, I don't want to do that
Yeah.
for years. And then all I would do is just kind of do what I do best, which is come in, tell stories, entertain people, engage people, like motivate them. And you're the one who delivers on the result, which is what you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be a motivational speaker.
Okay. I'm just thinking this could actually work really well for people who don't like sales, for people who really don't want to sell themselves. If instead you set up a partnership where you're referring like 2 or 3 other people and you just all refer each other business. So it's like I don't really sell my own stuff. I mean, if you want to ask, if you already know about me and what I do, and you come to me and you say, I'm ready to sign up for your program, I'll walk you through that process, I'll say the thing. But in terms of getting you to understand, like I don't get on sales calls with people. I've shown everybody else, this is what my program is. If you have a client that's like, oh, what I actually need is somebody who can show me how to build a community. It's like, and you don't do that. Here's my program. You get 50% of anybody that you refer to me. Here's exactly how to talk about what I do. And so you'd be like, hey, well, I know Aaron does this thing. Here's what he does. He's got these resources. This is what his business does. And then if people come to me and they'll be like, hey, I heard from, Guillaume, I heard from Felix, I heard from, Anna, that you're the community guy. I really like the program you have. How do I sign up? And it's sort of like, or it's like, I have some questions. It's like, well, if you have some questions, you can sign up for the webinar. But if you, like, I don't really get on the phone to talk with people to sell them. And it's not that I personally hate sales, but like for people who are overwhelmed and for people who like, oh, I just don't like sales, it just seems so pushy kind of thing. It's like, that's what they want. They want a model where they don't have to sell, but they're still getting clients. I wonder if there's a way where we could help people like sell each other's things in a way that isn't really selling.
I think it's more, and I hate to say this, I think it's more coaching. But like more of my style of coaching, which really isn't more like I've become very good at, doing difficult things and falling in love with fear. And it's like taking the leap. And it's like, I've helped some people do that. It's like, we have a conversation like, all right, what do you need to do? That, okay, go do it. It's like in the case of selling, it's like, right, you need help with that. Yeah. This product is on that. Here's all the benefits. You can do this. You need to take the plunge. It's like, I think that was the problem with coaching. When I was trying to do coaching, it's like, I was very good at getting them to kind of like see, oh, I need to do this, even though it's scary, even though it's difficult. Like I need to jump to get them to like jump off that metaphorical bridge. But I'm like, I don't want to do the work of jumping off with them and teaching them how to fly and everything. Like that's the process. That's the part of the process that I hate. So it's like, when it comes down to it, it's like I'm very good at connecting and storytelling and getting people to take action. And it's like that's pretty much the selling process.
Yeah.
And we're probably like jumping ahead for now. All we need to do is just focus on the webinar.
Yeah.
I think this could work if we really lean into this principle of let's just get in front of so many people so many times that they just kind of accept the fact that we're part of the industry. Yeah. And it's like, you're the community guy. You're the guy who helps people, who encourages people, who's there, who listens, who supports. Like that's who you are. I'm the guy who's like, I go on adventures, I do crazy things. I can challenge you to do that if you're willing to step up and be like, yes, I'm ready. If you need to, I'm going to push you off that bridge. Like if we just lean into that, it's just like all the time, it's like, that is who we are. That's how people get to know us. Then it's just going to be a question of like, hey, you want to be part of their community? Sure, go sign up and you're going to kind of connect with them and work with them. The second someone raises their hand, yes, I'm ready. It's like, all right, let me send you to the motivation guy. It's like, I think that's all the like business we need. That's going to take a while to set up. So I think we can do it like the old fashioned way of, the funnel and the webinar and everything. That's going to be super useful to build skills and set that up. But I think like what's going to make the difference between being like making a living from this and being millionaires is going to be that getting in front of like a massive audience, being ourselves, leaning in 100% to who we are. So people, even though they can't necessarily describe it in words, they know it's like, oh, you're the community guy. Oh, I'm the action guy. Like they can just sense that's who we are. Uh, so what we need to do is do the exact thing that we tell people they don't need at the very beginning of the webinar. Reach millions of people.
Okay. Yes, but I just had a thought. You said something the other day that I think is interesting. It's like we need to do what we're telling people they need to do. So what if our sessions sort of like we don't change anything on the webinar until we get feedback. It's like we set that line of like we're not going to do any work until the market tells us to do the work. And that means either they tell us an objection or they give us money, and then we do work. So until that point, we're our clients. So I need to be building out the course for us, and we need to be doing the steps.
I love what you just said. We can't change the webinar until we get feedback. So what if that's our rule in business? We're not allowed to change anything until we either get positive or negative feedback. So every time someone takes the webinar, we ask them after, why did you for people who bought, and use that information to tweak it and make it better. And we asked everyone, why didn't you buy?
Yeah.
And use that information to also tweak it. And it's like, if that's our entire process of just get people in front of the webinar, wait till we get feedback, use the feedback, tweak it, and just repeat that process over and over and over.
Yeah. I like this.
Really treat this as a case study of how do you create the perfect webinar. It's like we're using the structure, but it's like that is the process that most people fail to go through. They follow the structure and they launch it. They're like, it's not working. I guess the webinar isn't good. It's like, no, you just need to go through that process of present, iterate, present, iterate, present, iterate, present, iterate. And that's how you get $1 million fund.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's the whole purpose of the frameworks and the teaching. It's like it gives you such a step-by-step. This is so freaking like paint by numbers. You have to do this. But it's like all of the stuff is shown so that you can just copy it, so that you get to the point where the real work you really need to do is show it to your market again and again and again. If you just told people like, just don't build anything until people are asking you for it, either they're paying you they're paying you, that's how you validate. But like if you just say that little thing, there's so many pieces that people like, how do I do that? So that's the value of the perfect webinar. Like the template doesn't actually sell for you. It just gives you all of the resources you need to do the work. So our program is actually exactly the same thing. It's like we're giving you a process that if you just show up and do the work, you'll have all of the elements you need to potentially succeed. Right now, you don't have anything for a community. We're going to give you the building blocks so that now you've created something that you have to just keep asking your people and your market, like, what should we build? What do you want to make? And then give them permission to do it.
I'm wondering if it would be possible to tweak the webinar in such a way that, like, if we have enough people on the webinar every single time we give it. So let's say we have like 100 people on every webinar we give, and we tweak the webinar in such a way that we don't know what we're selling at the end. We're going through the process of the webinar, getting feedback, asking people, what do you need help with? What do you want? And by the end, we create the product. So it's like, all right, this is everything you told us you needed. So let's bundle this into a course, give you this bonus to help you with that, this bonus to help you with that, this with that, this would be worth that much, that much, that much. And do the whole same process of the perfect webinar, but live on the call with them to literally deliver exactly what they're telling us on the webinar that they need.
Yeah, that's exactly what we should do. What we need though, what we need is an intake form. It's like once they sign up on the webinar, we'll be like, hey, watch this quick video. It's like, here's what we're gonna cover in the webinar. We really want you to show up. So here's how to add it to your calendar. Here's how to, and by the way, could you just quickly tell us, like, why did you sign up? It's like, what would be the biggest thing that could make your business move forward? Like, how could we help you build community? And just literally get everybody who signs up, give them the opportunity to tell us, man, if you cover this, like, I'm happy. And then all we do is take that feedback. You build the entire presentation using the structure that we have. It's like, how do we open those loops for people? It's like, if 40% of like if you have 20 people and like 12 of them say really need engagement, then you just open the engagement loop the entire webinar. It's like, well, I tried to build a sitcom, and what I found was, like, I tried to do everything my way and it didn't land with the audience. I wasn't able to engage them. I watched somebody else build a community, and all he did was he engaged 18 people. That's it. They did the rest of the inviting. They were doing the engagement. They built a culture of engagement in that community, and he grew his audience to millions by just investing in a handful of people. That's all you have to do to grow your business, to grow your influence. Like, you can let your community do all that, and you just open the loop that people give you.
What if it wasn't as big as I was thinking? Because I was thinking, like, just get people on the call and then figure out what they need. But it's like, what if we kind of pre-screen a bit? It's like, hey, you want more clients, you want to build a community. So it's like, we're offering 5-minute Facebook groups. Like, we're going to teach things 5 minutes per day so you don't get overwhelmed. But it's like, the whole point of the webinar is asking them, what do you need?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we deliver that. So it's like, we build the 5-minute Facebook groups program or course using their feedback on the call. So it's like, we already know what we're selling them.
Yeah.
We just exactly how we're delivering it because they're the ones telling us.
Oh, dude. That's the beauty of, okay, so that graphic that I did, it's like, without being hyper specific of this is exactly the steps that we cover in the program. It's like, you literally just, when people say, oh, I want this, or it needs to do this, or I want to do that, it's like, you find a way to say that in your webinar. It's like, our program covers this. We're going to help you build sexy story, have like simple systems and like a happy headquarters. Like, that doesn't mean anything. That can mean whatever you want it to mean. So we can literally say, so if you want, if people are asking, like, well, how do I engage a community? It's like, so what if I get, like, I have 150 people in my group, none of them are talking. It's like, well, you need to build a happy headquarters, which means that when people come in, they're excited to engage. Like, that's what our program shows you how to do, is how to create a happy headquarters where that's the norm. And how do we do that? It's like, well, you build a highly engaged culture. You got to have safety, you got to have care, you got to have freedom. If you don't have those things, the culture is not going to be highly engaged. And so then you just literally, you're mirroring, you're asking, like, how do you want me to show up? And then you just be the reflection of what they're saying, what they're wanting in their business. And that's how you get on the same page with them. They're like, oh, you understand me. It's like, you literally told me what you wanted. That's what we're going to give you.
I think the strategy for this is having like a predefined structure or strategy. It's like, it's going to be so easy. It's easier to succeed than it is to fail. It's going to be delivered in 5 minutes per day. And it's like, we kind of like present it like, that's kind of like the structure of it.
Yeah, that's like the
now. Just tell us, what do you need? What do you actually want us to teach you? within that structure. So it's just
Yeah.
so like it's going to be so easy. Anyone can do it. So tell us, what do you need help with?
Hmm.
And ask that and get their feedback over and over and over in the webinar till at the end we're like, all right, this is everything you told us you needed. So let's create a course together out of that. So we're actually delivering exactly what you need. So it's not like we're not trying to convince you why you need to buy our course. We're asking you, what kind of course do we need to create to give you the results that you want?
Right. Yeah, and we need to do that in a way that it doesn't feel like that's what we're doing. Because when it feels like you're asking them, it's like that message that I was writing yesterday, where you're like, "Hey, I really want your feedback. Like, I need you to tell me blah blah blah." It feels, for whatever reason, like people experience that as like desperate because people want somebody else to know exactly what the right thing is. So you have to do this like tightrope walk of, I'm going to present the exact solution, but really you're listening. But this is how I know that we're on the right track, because like Jessica did this exact thing with her workshop. She got like 6 girls who wanted to do a money manifestation class. And so this is the thing that I helped her with in January or February this year. She had done this workshop, and she had asked them, she emailed them a questionnaire or something, or she asked them a couple questions like when they signed up. She said, what is it that you are looking to learn, and then like what is your relationship with money, like how do you feel like money treats you. And so then she literally said back what people said on the forums. She didn't attribute them to people. She just said those things that people filled out on the form. And like all of those people, like at the end in the feedback, they're like, this was so amazing. This was like exactly what I needed. This was like, and it's like it feels like cheating. It feels stupid. It's like, how do you not realize that I literally asked you, what do you like? What do you want? What say to me? What? But it's so funny because like the more you talk to people, you realize how not um, aware and conscious they are of like all the things that they're doing. It's just funny to me.
I see what you mean. I just wonder what would be more effective. Like kind of using that process of it, just like the entire webinar is to not teach them, is to ask for their feedback and ask like, what do you need help with? What are you struggling with? What are the goals that you want? And use that to then craft the offer at the end and just present it to them. So it's the exact thing they were asking for without them realizing.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it more valuable that we are pitching like, hey, instead of just trying to sell you a pre-made course, we want to create this course specifically for you to give you the results that you want. So it's like they're getting a pre-made course, or like, no, a hand-tailored course for the price of a pre-made course.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it increases the value. So I'm wondering which approach would be best, because I think both of them make sense. Like it makes sense to just kind of like not trick them, but just ask, what do you need? And then present, this is exactly what you asked for, without them realizing. They're like, that's exactly what I need. How did you know? But then there's the other aspect of you're just upfront. You're like, I'm not going to try to sell you a pre-made course. I'm just going to ask you what you need and give you an option, like it's kind of like how do you describe that? I guess it's kind of like the equivalent of improv in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of a pre-made movie, it's like you get to be part of the process.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's just a different kind of audience. It's not about better or worse. I think it might just be different.
I think what's coming up for me is like, this is essentially what we're trying to do, but we're trying to do it like really slow. It's like we show somebody our pre-made thing, and then whatever feedback we get, it's like we change it, and then we show it to some more people. instead of somehow talking to people that are actually engaged and like participating from the beginning and saying like, oh, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm wanting, and we say, oh, so if we provided this and this and this that solves your problem, is that what you want? And they're like, holy cow, yes. And they're like, oh, great. Well, if that's what you need, how much is that worth to you? Oh man, well, like I'd pay this much for you, be like, and that would be like a super like win. That would be like 100%. I would buy that yesterday. It's like you let them say what they want. You let them set the price. Like in their minds, it's exactly the thing. And then it's like your job is it's the magician's choice of like how do you take your scaffolding, what you've already prepared and planned. It's like how do I position what I have as this exactly meets what you want? And maybe it's like you have to, the first handful of times you're talking to people who have like really different needs, like you might have to make some adjustments or some tailoring, but I think the better you become at like just directing their, oh, I want this, you're like, well, if I give you this, it does this and it does this and it does this, which then gives you, the thing that you wanted. Is that good? I mean, it's like you just have to like bring them to where you are in terms of understanding how what you're giving them is gonna solve what they want.
Yeah, I realize maybe it's like how whether we present it and be upfront of like, hey, you're going to be able to tell us what you need and we're going to create the course live, deliver that, or whether we just kind of like do it without telling them. I think the trick is not about creating a different course or whatever, or like tweaking it every time. It's just about asking for their feedback. And then at the end, when we present the deliverables, is presented to them using the words that they told us.
Right. Uh-huh.
Like, 5 minute Facebook groups, it's like, okay, if one group is like, okay, these are the 3 things we need the most, we present it's like, hey, 5 minute Facebook groups allows you to do this, this, and this, using the exact same words that they use, even though it's like, the course is exactly the same, to them it feels super hand tailored to them.
Okay, so then what we need is like our final sales page, or I mean not sales page, but like the final stack needs to be built around a framework, so we know kind of like what the big major building blocks of it are. So like if we're using our like fund, it's like, so if they're saying, well, I want less of this in my business, this is what I'm firing. It's like I want more of this, like more clients, or like I want more time, or what is that? It's like this is what I want to get more of. Like I don't want to have to do any of this, or like this is what I would pay for, or whatever. It's like that falls under. I don't know exactly what it would be, but like we need to have some sort of model in our head where it's like it's really clear, like when people say, oh, this is what I want, in our minds it's like, oh, okay, so we're filling in the template of this is how we're going to say it at the end. It's like, so our program does this, it does this, it does this, which we're just repeating what they're saying, and it falls into the same model. So like all of the tick marks on like, here's all the things that it does, here's all the stuff that you get, because you need this, you need this, you need this in your business. And that's what our program does.
I think you're right. I think we need to present everything through that same model of like every single part that we're selling. So it's like 5 minutes Facebook group, the live version of the group, every single part of the stack is presented of like, it's going to help you remove this from your business. And it's going to help you automate this, and it's going to help make this process fun. So it's like we just follow that same structure every single time. Go ahead.
I
You look
think.
like a fish out of water.
Okay, so what I was thinking of is when you create posts, like hand raised posts, it's like you're throwing something. Here's in the ballpark of what my offer is, or the topic that my thing is, and you ask people. It's like, hey, what do you wish you knew? What do you need in your business right now? Like, as the market says, oh, here's my pain point that I want to solve, or here's the solution that I'm looking for. Then you design the training, which is like the same presentation, but maybe it's like you literally use that feedback from what people are engaging on. It's like, this is the questions we ask. Like, hey, you want to know these 3 secrets that you just repeat back to them. It's like, I wish I knew how to create engagement. I wish I knew how to spend less time in my business. I wish I knew how to like spend more time with my family, and still pay the bills, that sort of thing. It's like, hey, would you like to know the 3 secrets to how to spend more time with your family and pay your bills and still be able to engage your audience and get clients? It's like, that's what we're covering in this training. And so, like, the little things that your audience is saying, that's what I want, that's what you do. And then it's just, you just adjust the stories a little bit. It's like the same. And so it's like we may actually eventually develop like 4 or 5 variations of the webinar where it's like we tell some slightly different stories, just so that it's like, but then you just kind of cycle through, the same material over and over and over and over and over again by just, what is the market saying? And then we have this story that fits that situation. We have this example, this result that clients have gotten with us, and this is a great case study. So it's like, sure, we have a great solution. Like, let me do a quick training. We'll hop on for 30 minutes, go live in the group. Everybody, like, blast out an email to your subscribers like, hey, we know people have been saying it sure would be nice to learn this. We're going to do a training on that exact thing. Here's how to sign up. It's like, do it today. And then we're going live, we're doing this training, and you just literally say back to them, hey, would you like to learn how to do this? Well, let me tell you this story. Would you like to learn how to do this? Let me tell you this story. Here's the secret to doing this. Like, here's another story. All these great results, all these great client testimonials. You're just literally, like, the business marketing pitching thing is just listen, and then let me say that back to you in a nice way, in a marketing businessy way, and then say, would you like to get help with that? And they say, yes, I'm still here. Well, let me show you what my way of helping you with that thing is. We have a program that does this thing that you said, and this thing that you said, and this thing you said. Are you interested? It's like, the way to close that loop is to pay us money.
Okay, I think you're right, and I think we've been making this perfect webinar way too complicated. We need what you were just saying, but like one thing. So let's say it's like, as an example, I don't know if it's a good example. Let's say it's like the thing that you want is you want to reach millions of people for free in 5 minutes per day. Like that's, let's say the big dominoes, like get them to believe that it's possible. And then there's the 3 secrets, which is the vehicle, the internal belief, and the external belief. Mm-hmm. What if every single part of the webinar is presented with those 3 core like beliefs we have to overcome? So it's like when we present at the end in the stack, like the 5-minute Facebook group, it's like 3 points. Point number 1 is the vehicle. This is the number 1 reason why 5-minute Facebook groups is perfect for you. This, like the internal, this is the number 1 reason why you can do this. This is the number 1 reason why there's nothing outside of you that can do that. So it's like every single step of the way, we just use that same framework of vehicle, internal, external.
Yeah.
So every step of the way, it's like they understand, okay, I need 5-minute Facebook group. Oh, I need the live version of the group. Oh, I need this bonus. I need that bonus. So it's like every single one, we're hitting those 3 points over and over and over again.
So, and I wonder, do you think that Okay, here's the okay. Here's what's coming from me. It's like the what we're offering should be something that we've actually done. So it's like the promise of reach millions of people in 5 minutes a day. Like, is that actually technically accurate? Can we say we've done that thing? Um,
Dude, you know what would be super powerful?
well,
Like we can't do it right now, but if we could get to the point where we do that, it's like we present the stack of, 5 minute Facebook groups, into the vehicle, internal, external, this is the value, and then testimonial. Here's a real world example of someone who used that very thing and got these results. Next bonus. Hey, it's this, and this. Here's the story of someone who used this very thing and got these results. So it's like we're selling them on the vehicle, why it's the perfect thing for them. We're selling them on why they can do it and why it's so easy. We're selling them on why there's nothing outside of them who can stop them. And we give them an example on how this specific bonus or this specific part of the bundle has served someone in the past. Like they're buying it every single step of the way.
Okay, so let me think back through like testimonials that we have. It's like how can we position what we've actually done already to help people as like this is how you get. Okay, so like it's like a bonus thing, but like the third set or the middle section of like building a highly engaged culture. It's like the engagement masterclass like actually covers that. I can talk about Karen who has a group and she's given me some feedback of like, hey, start doing the stuff you said and I've already seen people are more engaged. I can share Marcus's testimonial of like I switched from doing Instagram Reels where I wasn't getting any engagement to going to Facebook groups and I got 500 comments on my Reels. Like that's demonstrate like demonstrably this is exactly what you're asking for. It's like I want engagement. We teach engagement. People that we've helped have gotten engagement. It's like that's the alignment of like this is what I want, like the feeling, this is exactly the idea on how, this is the like the action or like it works in practice with people that we've helped. Um, I mean, and we can so let's see the third part, which is like um, leverage your community, which is really the key idea, but it's streamline and simplify. Let's see the stories that I've told. Oh, I should work in my my vacation story. Being able to take time off because I streamlined and simplified things for my team so they can run it without me. But let's see, do I have anything that I've built that has streamlined and simplified things for somebody? Let's see. And then the first one, which is um, rapid launch, like I'll spend less time in my business to show me exactly what to do. Have a success story. It's like Leslie literally uses those words. Marcus uses those words. Fast launch. I might have a better quote from Roy than like I'm proud of what you're doing with the community stuff. It's like when I'm working with Aaron, I never worry when things go wrong because I know that they'll be in it or something like that. Trying to think, that doesn't really talk to rapid launching. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some stuff that I could. I mean, I could use Rodney's quote. I should go back through and watch that. Ooh, yeah, I bet I might find a good testimonial quote from him if I watch that. I should.
I don't want to distract you. Are you done thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just taking notes so we don't forget this. And when we come back later and we want to kind of restructure things, we can. So here's the description of what we discussed. So we need to have one very specific focus for the webinar. So as example, like reach millions of qualified prospects for free in 5 minutes per day. Have a single, very specific big domino that is the answer to that focus. So it's like whatever the focus is, that opens the loop, and the big domino closes that loop. And then each step of the process, we need to hit the vehicle, internal, external, and have a real world example of someone who used that exact thing to get results. And we use this throughout the entire process of the webinar. When you're telling the stories, presenting the 3 secrets, when you're doing the value stack. And I think as long as we keep the focus on the person. So it's like, instead of showing like, hey, this is our course, blah, 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 and selling everything, it's like, yes, we're doing that, but we're selling it through the lens of, this is why it's going to work for you. It's like this vehicle answers the question that you want to answer. It helps you with what you need help with. You can do this because you structured it in such a way that it's not going to be overwhelming. There's nothing outside of you that can stop you. Here's an example of someone who used this process to get the exact result that you want. As long as we keep that focus, like use this structure and make sure we're focused on the person all the time, that's like the true magic. And then it's going to be a question of just get as many people into this as we can.
Yeah, so I think in terms of like, this will be, yeah, I like that.
I'm wondering, what if, because I've seen this used in sales before, and since we're leaning into storytelling, this might be a good idea. The whole like, you know, I want you to imagine your life from now, like, I don't know, in a year from now, and you've done all the things you need to do and you got all the results. It's like, what if we kind of use that principle and use the storytelling principle to describe their ideal life? And like, it can be general enough, but it's like, you know, okay, imagine that a year from now, you've done all this, like worked 5 minutes per day to remove overwhelm. You have the freedom to spend time with your family, go on vacation. But it's like, instead of just present like, here's the story of how I discovered this, and here's the story of how this person discovered that's like, yes. What if we also stack on a story of, this is what your life is going to be like. This is the journey you're going to go through if you purchase the course. Instead of kind of like sharing other stories and getting them to realize like, oh, okay, I can do the same thing. We're literally telling them, this is what you're going to do. This is the journey you're going to go on. This is what you can expect. These are the results you're going to get. But it's like, instead of just implying that, we literally come out and say it.
Yeah.
Like, let me walk you through the process you're going to go through once you like claim your scholarship. It's like, you know, you're going to buy in. We're going to teach you everything over the course of 5 weeks. It's only going to be 5 minutes per day. We're going to be there to answer your questions. We're going to help you, support you, grow your community. You're going to start making more sales. You're going to get more clients. You're going to have more freedom. You're going to be making way more than before. So it's like, instead of saying that's what's possible, it's like, we walk them through the journey of them going through that.
I like that. So at the beginning, you just paint the picture of it's like no more overwhelm. Your business is successful. And then once we've gone through all of the frameworks of like what they need to do, and we say, okay, here's what the program gives you. It's like it does this thing that we talked about. It does this thing that we talked about. It does this thing we talked about. Now imagine that this is you. It's like you go through and you do this, 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 and this. And then it's like you're up and running really fast. Like that gives you the ability to just like focus on the connect. Like you can start building that culture, that engagement, and get you can start transforming, helping people right away without having to have gotten tons of people in your community, without having sold a bunch of clients. Like you can jump to the end, like the result that you really got into this business for. And then you can leverage your community. Like once you have a few people in there, you show them how to. It's like you walk them through. It's like them doing it. So you're getting them to visualize. Like
Yeah.
you just get them to visualize the feeling of like what is it that they want, and then you go through the stories that illustrate the idea of how to get what they want, and then you go through like, so our program is this, this, and this, which does those things which you now know are required to do that. And now if you picture yourself going through that, it's like you're gonna have that loop that we opened at the beginning. It's like, so like you're really going on the like, this is really easy, it's really simple, you can definitely do this. Like you can just picture yourself like it's super easy. And then if you had to learn all this yourself, you had to build all this yourself, you had to go through the journey that we went through to get to this. Like this would take you years, it would take you thousands of tens of thousands of dollars, um, tons of stress and overwhelm, and like not knowing what the heck in the world you're doing, because that's what we did. And you can shortcut all of that. It's like this is easily worth tens of thousands of dollars, just in the amount of time you save, just in the amount of dollars spent to learn this, just in the amount of like frustration of doing all this work and not seeing your results. But you can get all of that stuff. Like you can be that version of you that's done it and it's successful in 5 minutes a day, and it's like $1,000, less than $1,000, and it
Think
does what you said you wanted. It does what you said you wanted. It does what you said you wanted, so that you can have the thing that you want. It's like that's what we're trying to do, is just say back to them, this is what you asked for and this is what we're giving you. Is that worth?
the most important thing is, as you were speaking, I noticed you were always saying this can.
This will. Yeah.
As if it's like you're going to the members area, you got all the content. We're going to walk you through step by step every single way. It's going to be 5 minutes per day. Here are the results you will get. Instead of like, if you purchase, this is what you would get, what could happen. Like we need to make sure to always present it from the lens of, we assume they're going to buy. We just explain this is what you're going to get once you buy.
Yeah. We assume they're going to buy. They're going to sell.
So it's like we just assume that everyone's going to buy always. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, hey, if you buy, this is what you get. It's like, when you buy, this is what you get. Mm-hmm. These are the results you will get when you buy. This is the freedom you will get when you buy. It's like, just like speaking from that lens. So it's like, it feels like incongruent to them when they get to the end. And it's like, if I choose not to buy, then it's like, that person they've been describing this entire time ceases to exist.
Uh-huh.
I think that's more powerful than selling them like, this is who you could be, because people are way more afraid to lose something they feel they already got than something like people. I forget that. I think it's 6 times. I think people are 6 times more like afraid of losing something that they have than they are games. So it's like someone is going to be 6 times more afraid of losing $20 than they're going to be excited of getting $20.
Okay.
Able to paint it that way. It's like, here's everything you get once you purchase. Here's your life. That's what it's going to be like. And then it's like at the end, it's like we take it away unless you give us $1,000.
Okay. This came up yesterday and I forgot about it until now. What is the like? If you stay to the end, this is what you'll get. It's like you lose out if you don't show up, kind of thing. What is that urgency? Is like, yeah, I'm asking you, hey, will you check out my webinar? I think it will help you, but it's like, but even if all you do is just show up and listen, and that's all you do, is like, you're gonna get this out of it. Beyond, like, in addition to the information, it's like, what is that incentive that makes it like they would be like, I really should go to that because I want that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think you're right. We need to do that process of pre-selling them so that they feel like they're wasting an opportunity if they don't attend. Yeah, if we can get them to buy, it's like you're going to get this result if all you do is just show up and listen to the webinar. Just sit there the entire time. At the end, we're going to give you this, and you don't get it if you don't attend. You're right. If it's something that's valuable, that gives it the impression of I can't not attend because I need that. Mm-hmm. That gets them to attend, gets them to stay till the end, and then the process does the exact same thing for the course. Yeah. So what we need is a mini version of the course to get them to attend. So it's like, no matter what, if you show up, you're going to be better off now than you were before.
Yeah. I have a couple of ideas for something like that. But the thing that comes to mind for me is I've been thinking that I need to do like a free mini course or some sort of like, this is a valuable like package or something that's like ordinarily you would pay for this, or maybe you do pay for it and it's like really, really cheap. It's like $3 or $7 or something. But it's like a mini course that indoctrinates them into the process. Like they don't even realize they're being groomed and pre-sold. It's more than just, all right, let me see if I can say this in a more concise way. So one of the things that I'm thinking about offering as a sort of low ticket way to get people into the webinar is basically that GrowthWorks software that I got. It's like if you plug in enough information, it generates all of your marketing material for you. And it's a little bit of a process to like sit down and get all that stuff in. It takes about an hour or so, especially if you don't have that stuff like just right at the tip of your tongue. But if I could walk them through the process of pinpointing and articulating what those things are beforehand, it's like, let's get clear on your marketing message so that you can get more clients. Like I'm actually just helping them be able to tell me without wasting my time, or to some extent even so that I can automate the process of, you just tell me the information that needs to get plugged into this thing, and then I can create gobs of marketing material for you because of the software. So I'm thinking like, if I had a teaching course or a mini module that was like literally just giving them the prompts and the language so that they can give me back quality information. So then when I show them, hey, well, here's an example of like marketing stuff we built for people. Would you be interested in this? And it's like, we'll build it all for you. It's all done for you. It's like, and it's super cheap. It's like $50, $100, $200, $300, whatever. And it's like the amount of stuff that they get back for the amount of work that they do is ridiculous. But it's like I already have showed them enough so that they can give me the answers. So I don't have to get on like a 90-minute interview with them to like drag that stuff from them. It's like I'm trying to figure out what can I build that will replace me having to show up on calls and like prompt and poke and like get them to say in like 4 different ways until I realize, oh, this is what you're trying to say. Because that should be like my highest ticket service is like, if you're asking for my personal time, like that's the expensive thing. Right now, it's the only thing that I know how to offer that's really valuable to people, but people don't treat it as super, super valuable. They don't realize it's that valuable.
What if, I'm thinking, what is the thing that is general enough that everyone would want it, yet specific enough that it's super valuable? So what if the offer is show up to our webinar, we're going to teach you, the information is going to be amazing, but if all you do is show up and don't pay attention, you're still going to get this amazing bonus. What if that bonus is it's like a special training? Like if we were able to do a show, like a special 30-minute training that walks you through step by step exactly how to create it, an irresistible high ticket offer. So the clients want, like, they can't resist buying from you.
Yeah.
Like if we just, that's like, we're going to walk you through step by step how to create an irresistible high ticket offer. That way, even if you don't like get any value on the webinar, even if you don't buy the course, even if nothing else, like you're going to have that in your business. And I feel like everyone wants that. And even people who already have it, they're like, it can always be better. Maybe there's one little thing, one little tweak I can use to make my offer better. And it's like, it's funny how the irresistible offer for the webinar is, let us show you how to create your own irresistible offer. It's like, because we just did it for the course, we know how to do it. So it's like, if we take an hour, a couple hours and just like break down the process, what is the process you need to go through to create this irresistible offer? What's the main offer? How much to charge for it? How many bonuses? Like whatever that process is, and we just create a training for that. And that's what we offer. Pre-recorded 30-minute or 60-minute training that walks you through step by step how to create your own irresistible offer that you can use over and over and over in your business to get clients. You get that for free, just for showing up and staying till the end. I think that would be irresistible. Of course, it's kind of, well, you need an audience, you need people to put that irresistible offer in front of. So that's why we created this entire course. So it really, like, it ties in perfectly, and whether they buy or not, it just seems like a really good incentive to attend the webinar.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for us because we can literally do a pre-recorded training. We don't need to like hop on a call with them for 60, 30, or 90 minutes every single time. Just here's the link to your training, go download it now, and that's it.
Yeah, so it seems like some variation of create a clear, attractive marketing message, or get clients, or like irresistible offer. Like all of those things are essentially representing to them. It's like, oh, I'll get more business, which means I make more money.
I feel like that's what a lot of people are lacking it's like, okay, they need the audience, but it's like, even when, if they do have the audience, most people are like, well, I mean, I help people, I'm a coach or whatever. It's like, they don't have that clear offer of like, hey, you're interested, here's what you can buy right now.
This feels like a good mini workshop. Because it's sort of like if it's free, I don't know if people will take action on it. But if you said this is a mini workshop that I charge for, maybe make it expensive. Maybe it's like $500 workshop. It's like this is a $500 workshop that you'll get for free, or you'll get for like you can buy for $1. If you sit through the webinar, and this workshop will help you know exactly how to attract your customers. And so it's like I literally just walk them through like, you need to know this thing, this thing, this thing. Just basically find ways to get them to say their words, their market's language, all of the things that I need to know to plug it into my marketing software. So then the next stage is like, if they've done that workshop or if they've done the things, like now you know what you need. It's like they can build their own irresistible offer. It's like you show them, here's the formula, here's how you talk about it. That's the thing. But it's like then you make them a pitch like, would you like me to build all of your marketing material for really cheap? You know, it's like if they are willing to do the work, if they can figure out the thing, then like for the cost of whatever it costs to do the data entry, you know, that's like we can provide them a bunch of stuff to create credibility and like start generating more leads for themselves.
That feels more like a fast action bonus type of thing. Because like the problem with that is like, if they bought into the concept of like, oh, I need a community and everything. So it's like, if we present that at the end, people are like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I see how that would be valuable. But people up front before attending the webinar, they're like, yeah, but I don't really have a community, so I don't need that content. Whereas something like, as an example, like the irresistible offer, everyone in business is like, I need that. Even if they don't have an audience, even if they don't have clients, everyone's like aware of, I need that to be successful in business. I just want to make sure like we include everyone with that irresistible offer to attend the webinar.
Okay, I have an idea. I saw a guy do this yesterday, and it's like, it's literally, it's like you play on people's desire for new, but you just relabel something. So he said like what do you call it? Instead of a lead magnet, he called it a customer magnet. It's like, this isn't to attract leads. This is something that will attract paying customers. And like he just called it customer magnet, but what he was actually getting people to buy was like a $300 training on like mini workshop offers, like some small low ticket offer. Like, here's my version of, you need a low ticket offer, and like this training was literally a low ticket offer. It's $300 to teach people that you need some sort of self-liquidating offer so that you can get people who are hand raising as buyers. Those are the people you want to get as leads. And so, but like he just called it his own thing. He's like, it's not a lead magnet, it's a customer magnet. And so, you know, it's like you get them one step closer to, oh, it's like I'm making more money. It's like I'm more successful in business because I'm not just getting leads, I'm getting customers. It's like that's better than what everybody else is promising. So how can we position like a training as something that's not a training? Or how can we do like a workshop that's like, it's not a workshop, it's a something else that's even more valuable than what everybody else is doing?
I don't know, nothing coming up.
Because, the other thing I was thinking of is like, instead of a lead magnet or like a free, what was it? What was it that I was thinking of? Everybody has, okay, instead of offering done for you marketing materials, it's like something to help people build their audience or invite people or like grow their community. It's like if you're joining our webinar because you want to get in front of millions of people, or you want to know how to build an engaged community, you want to know how to like run your business while you're getting customers and leads without spending tons of time. The thing that you want is people. The thing that you want is more people in your community, more people on your list. So what if we, instead of it being like a done for you or like a workshop on how to attract your clients or customers, it's like um, a community accelerator, or get like uh, like an instant audience booster, or some sort of like, what's the lead magnet equivalent of getting people into your community? Like there isn't a name for something that's like, here's the thing that gets people into your audience. Here's the thing that gets people into your group. I mean, we know a lead magnet gets people to sign up on your list. It's like you get an email from them. But like, how do you get a person like there and interacting and coming to your space? That's different. It's like you get a piece of their identity with a lead magnet. How do you get the whole person to come and participate? That's something else. It's like
If you if you attend the webinar, we'll give you a free trial to Amazon Prime.
hey, what's up?
Anyway, I think we don't need to figure it out right now, but I think it's just gonna, process in the background. We're gonna find the perfect thing. But if we have that, like that irresistible offer of this is super valuable and we're giving it away for free just to attend the webinar, that makes that already primes them of like, if you're giving this away for free, what the hell are you trying to tell me on the webinar?
Yeah, like if we had like our million member magnet mini course or something. But like, how do you? I'm trying to think. Okay, I just need to break out the thesaurus. I'm trying to think of like, what's another way of saying magnet? Thesaurus. Super magnet. Traction. A member mousetrap. I like that. Oh, that's fun. A member gimmick. A member hook. You need bait. You need a member bribe. Remember, let's see. Oops. Come on.
I just came across an ad and it's just funny how it's like every person's like, this doesn't work, do this instead. It's like it's a Dan Lok ad, and it's like, this used to work. It's like basically saying webinar funnels don't work. Let me show you the brand new technique that works in my 3-day virtual event. Like, yeah, but virtual events, like, you know, other people are saying virtual events don't work. So it's like everything works and everything doesn't. It's just funny how it's like that's a stretch. It's like this doesn't work, do this instead. It's like, yeah, but they both work. There's people doing the exact opposite. It's like, don't do this, do that. It's like, yeah, but it don't work. Wondering if we got to the point where our brains are like, yeah, we're done for the day. At least
Okay.
that's what
What are contexts where people like line up for stuff or like want free stuff? Like what are some like common, it's like free samples?
Anything from Apple?
What's that?
Anything from Apple?
Yeah.
Concerts? Although
Concerts, yeah.
nowadays it's all online, but I think like the principle remains. Porn? No, people don't get in line for porn. If people got in line for porn, really messed up things would happen in that line.
They used to back at like old theaters.
Back in Pee Wee Herman days.
That's just so strict. Like I'm just trying to picture like going to a movie theater to watch porn. That's so weird.
And the thing is, like, you know, it's going to be like 99% dudes that are going to be sitting there.
Yeah.
Actually, if I was a woman, like, and those things still existed, like, even if I wanted to go, I don't think I would go because I'd be like, no, there's only going to be like a bunch of like horny, creepy dudes there. Screw that, I'm not going. I ran out of propane yesterday, and the owner of the Airbnb is like, "Oh, can I come over to switch it?" So, do you want to keep going? Do you want to? I just want to know what I should tell him.
Let's see. Say that again. Ask me again.
Oh, it's just because I ran out of propane for the stove here yesterday, and the owner needs to come and replace the tank. And he was like, "Oh, is now a good time?" So I just want to know, like, do we have more stuff to do? Do you want to end things or take a break and come back? Or yeah, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I think I'm good for now. I have a call with Randy at 2 in about 90 minutes.
Okay.
I think I could probably take a little walk, just kind of clear my head.
Okay.
So I think I'm good.
Um, I don't know why it seems like every time I'm like, I feel like a dick when I bring this up, but is there any other people you need to contact for the webinar? Or did you do
Um,
it yesterday? Just because I'm like, I want to do it, but I can't do it, so I have to like, get
yeah.
used to it.
No, I actually had somebody message me today. I can invite. Let me do that, and then I do have some other people that I was thinking about inviting. So yeah, I can send a bunch more messages today, see if we can get some more signups. Yeah, right. If we just get we get in the habit of getting like one person to sign up every day, that's like at least 7 people every week.
Yeah.
So we just send a few more invites and see if we can get another sign up today. I should invite Randy. Why not? He's seen a bunch of presentations.
Get feedback.
Yeah, and since he's already like a big community builder, I'd be interested to see what his feedback is. Like, what would help you right now? Because he's got 2 big communities. He's already got the traffic. He just needs the offer. All right. I'm so tired.
Go put pants on. It'd be awkward if he shows up in my boxers. Which is a subtle way of saying, yes, I'm wearing boxers right now, because that's what we can do when we're working online.
All right, I'm sending a message now, and I guess I'll talk to you tomorrow. So I guess tomorrow we can not work on our webinar and just keep inviting people.
Yeah, and let me know if there's anyone that I can invite from my end, because I can't really think of anyone. But yeah, let me know if there's anything I can do.
Oh, did we ever set a date for our mastermind to get back together? Was that, or did we put that on the calendar already?
Did. I forget when it is, but we did.
Me too. So meet with Soul. Oh, next Wednesday on the 7th. Surprised Jessica's gonna be up that late. Oh, I guess it's only like 8 p.m. for her. It's not too terrible. Okay, let me finish sending this message. And it looks like some people have. Okay, let me send the message first before I look at anything else. Schedule the interview, please.
All right. Well, anyway, I gotta go because I got gas coming. It's funny. Anyway, so yeah, if you think of anything, just let me know what I can do on my end.
Sure. All right.
All right. Enjoy your day.
You too, man.
All
Thanks
right.
for
Bye.
thanks for the fletching. I feel like I missed this.
Yeah, it always feels good when we do this.
Yeah.